MSTR is in a major spot after shortly breaking out of this descending channel. We find price in an ascending profile and we break through that $400 level as well as that 425 in a very aggressive fashion. But today we see sellers try to step in, showing that selling pressure at that 456, and we trend back down to that $442 level. Now, are the buyers going to stay in full control, pushing the stock higher, or is it time that the sellers finally step in? All right, guys, starting this analysis on the weekly time frame, we are in a bull flag continuation pattern, right? We see that movement up. We get in a very choppy range. We get that explosive movement up all the way to 543, and then we get in this descending bull flag-like pattern. Finally get out of that after bottoming around that $232 level several times. Aids that leg up to that 425. We pull back slightly, holding around that 358 and that $369 level, blowing past that 425, and we continue our movement up with price currently trending at 442. So beautiful price action, right? We see that very sharp movement up. We get about a half of a retracement of that movement. We push right back up. We find a small pullback, push right back above that level, and get over it. Now, guys, on the daily chart, we see a better point of view of that bull flag, right? Buyers push it up all the way to that 543, very volatile, and we come down in this formation, extremely volatile, guys. Volatility and volume are in play. Buyers keep it up here, sellers push it down close to the floor. We see a lot of back and forth going on. Sellers try to keep it at the floor, testing multiple times. Buyers try to push it back up, pushing it lower. We find that very strong support of that 232, bringing it all the way to the ceiling, pushing it all the way back down to the floor one more time, and that's where we find that break, pushing very nicely, guys, in this overextended movement up. And then we get into a smaller descending like pattern, but we don't retrace this movement. What we're seeing here, guys, is a nice overextended movement up, a smaller pullback, not even half of that, guys. So normally if you see a very overextended run, it is pretty normal and typical to see around a half movement and retracement back down before trying to move back out. But instead, guys, we get about a fourth of a retracement and a continued movement out. We see a little bit of indecision. Buyers push it above that 400 psychological level. Sellers find a point to step in, push us all the way back down, right around the resistance of this range, but then buyers step right back in, getting us over to that 400. And you see just a little bit of back and forth here. That 400 being a very important level, which makes sense. A psychological $400 level, just like that, would have some pretty strong resistance, as we saw in the past right here. Pretty stubborn to get over, but once we get over it, pretty nice movement up. And that's exactly what you see here, guys. To fully get over that $400 level, you see a very strong green bar pushing over that very nicely, guys. We're talking almost a 5% movement on that day alone. We see the following 3 days continuing to push price up, and that's where we finally see that selling pressure, guys, as we got to that $456 high. And that $500 level is our price target on the channel, given that there isn't a lot holding us back here. We don't see a lot of data points, given that these resistances are going to push us down. Really isn't a whole lot to go off of. You could say that 443 is a very major resistance zone, as you see trying to wick over here and topping twice there, and we are just right about at that level, guys. So I think that if buyers can step in here and really solidify that break of that 443, we're looking incredible to test that $500 level. We've gotten that volume starting to ascend up as buyers break out. And if buyer interest can continue to rise and volume can really flush in here, it's very likely that buyers step right back in and push us further. And as for the bears, guys, watch for that retracement, bring us back under that $425 level, being the most important resistance zone that we have on the stock currently and in this more current price action. Given that if we do get under that 425, there are a lot more resistance zones that I would have to worry about, but we are in very nice territory here. It's definitely also not out of the question that we see a little bit of consolidation, guys, as we got that nice leg up, right? It's definitely not fully out of the question that we do chop sideways for some time, kind of being in a flag and pole like structure. We got that overextended movement, test that range before we fully break out. All right, guys, on the hourly chart, we see that chop around that $369 and $391 level, and then fully leading us to that break of 400. So let's try to push us back down, and we see that beautiful overextended move all the way to 456. So from around that 400 level, we see about $56 of price action, really just ascending here, guys, blowing up. We build up this energy in this consolidation range. Try to push it under, get back in that range. Try to push it above, get back in that range. So energy is definitely being built here. And then we see that leg up, come back down, but the low is at the top of this consolidation range. And then we continue our very nice movement up to that 456. And if we do see a little bit of a sell-off here, guys, watch for that 425, as that was an obvious, very hard resistance point. So if we could turn that into very nice support, kind of double bottoming, guys, we would definitely be looking very nice to the top. Although I do think we find that movement a bit quicker and we bounce up higher. All right, guys, I'm bringing you to Bitcoin. If you trade MSTR, you should be looking at Bitcoin. They often move together. Bitcoin has been an absolute monster. If you guys have been keeping up with the market, it's been an absolute monster recently. And we covered that 106,000 was that main zone to get over. Once we break over that nicely, guys, we just see an incredible price action to that 123,000 all-time high. We're seeing sellers try to step back in here, guys, but we've seen an incredible move up as of recent times, right? That 106 being stubborn, trying to get over that a couple times here, flush down, tried testing it multiple times here, and that leads us to this bull flag-like range. We push up, guys, and that is where we get in this tighter range between that psychological 100,000 and that top of around that 112,000 to 110,000. We see that chop, and we see that 106 being stubborn. Right here is the 106 marker. Really try to break out. Takes a lot of touch points to break out, each of these candles being a day. We do for a few days, but we get pushed right back onto that 106. Try to hold above it again, and we get pushed all the way down to the floor. Sellers try to break that 100,000. They cannot do so, and we fly right back above that 106. And then we see price hold up pretty nicely using that 106 as support. Get tight a little bit higher, and then we see that explosive movement all the way to that 123,000. A little bit of a pullback as we speak, but what we did was chop very tightly, find that move up, continued that movement up, and now we see a smaller pullback in play, guys. So it's likely that we hold higher and continue our movement up. And if Bitcoin can continue moving up, MSTR will be prone to continue moving up as well. So it makes sense that we got a small pullback today on MSTR since Bitcoin is having a bit of a pullback as well. But overall, looking extremely nice on Bitcoin, and we remain heavily bullish. Although keep in mind, we are at all-time highs, blue sky territory as I like to call it. So there's not a lot of data points to go off of. Not a lot of resistance / support to go off of. So keep that in mind. If Bitcoin found a hard resistance at some zone and found a big retracement, that could definitely affect MSTR. But what we see here, guys, very, very nice price action. So MSTR is in a very nice spot here, guys. We are looking to really claim that $500 level. We've seen a very strong overextended movement up, a much smaller pullback. We've seen a bit of chop, and we see that continued movement up. So it's definitely nice price action to see, guys. Given that Bitcoin is ripping as well, definitely looking like we are going to be headed to that $500 level. Might see another little small pullback again, holding a bit higher and continuing our movement up. Overall, we stand bullish on MSTR as well as Bitcoin, and I like what I'm seeing here, guys. Comment your price predictions down below. What are your MSTR price predictions? What are your Bitcoin price predictions? I appreciate all of you guys making it to the end of the video, and as always, trade smart, and I will see you all in the next one.